In a world of glitz, gossip, and endless drama, there's always one person quietly pulling the strings behind the scenes. She doesn't yell, she doesn't demand attention, but every event, every social gathering, every whispered scandal somehow bends to her will. In Bridgerton Season 4, that person is Sophie Baek, the woman who runs a tight ship. From the perfect arrangement of a grand ball to knowing exactly how to handle society's most delicate crises, Sophie proves that control doesn't need noise. It's in her calm, her sharp mind, and the subtle power she wields over everyone around her. Today, we're diving into the world of Sophie Baek, exploring how she manages to stay several steps ahead in a world where chaos is always just around the corner. Sophie Baek isn't the kind of character who shouts to be noticed. In a society obsessed with appearances and gossip, she thrives quietly in the background, letting her actions speak louder than words. She moves through high society with purpose, always aware of who needs to be where and when, and what must be said or left unsaid. Unlike some characters who rely on charm or scandal, Sophie relies on her intelligence, foresight, and impeccable organization. Every ball, tea party, and dinner gathering in Bridgerton Season 4 seems effortless, but that's only because Sophie has already mapped every detail in her mind. From arranging the seating so that potential rivals sit apart too, ensuring that the staff moves with precision, she makes the complicated look simple. But Sophie is more than just a perfectionist. She is a strategist. She notices patterns, predicts outcomes, and acts before situations even develop. A misstep from someone else could cause a scandal, a loss of reputation, or social embarrassment. Of Sophie's presence prevents that from happening. Her calm exterior hides a mind that is constantly analyzing, adjusting, and calculating the best way to maintain order, even in the chaos of Bridgerton balls, where every guest seems to have their own agenda. She is the invisible force, ensuring that everything unfolds according to plan. Sophie's elegance is part of her power. She doesn't need to raise her voice or make grand gestures. Instead, her precision and confidence command respect. Everyone around her feels her influence, often without realizing it. Whether she is coordinating a grand entrance or smoothing over a tense moment between rivals, her interventions are subtle but decisive. She understands the unspoken rules of society better than anyone and uses that knowledge to maintain control without appear. Ring controlling. Fans of Bridgerton have started to notice that characters like Sophie are the real game changers. While drama and romance capture the spotlight, it's her efficiency, insight, and unwavering composure that often determine how events unfold. By running a tight ship, Sophie ensures that the world of Bridgerton remains poised, elegant, and just on the edge of scandal, never tipping over, never spiraling out of control. Her presence reminds viewers that true power doesn't need a crown or a loud voice. Sometimes, it's the quiet force behind the scenes that shapes everything. Sophie Baek doesn't just organize events. She orchestrates them like a composer, conducting a symphony. Every detail, no matter how small, is planned with precision, from the positioning of chairs at a ballroom to the timing of each toast. Sophie knows that perfection lies in the details most people overlook. She doesn't rely on luck or chance. She anticipates every problem before it even arises. If a guest is likely to clash with another, she subtly shifts seating arrangements. If gossip threatens to spill into a scandal, she quietly redirects attention with the perfect distraction. Her discipline is not about control for its own sake. It's about foresight, preventing chaos before it touches her carefully curated world. What makes Sophie truly remarkable is her combination of elegance and efficiency. She moves through the halls of Bridgerton's grand estates with purpose, but her movements are never rushed. Every gesture is deliberate, every word carefully measured. While other characters are caught up in emotion, drama, or jealousy, Sophie remains several steps ahead. She doesn't just react, she predicts, adapts, and executes. Watching her in action is like seeing a master strategist at work, quietly reshaping the game without ever revealing her hand. even the staff and servants who might feel tension. Under strict supervision, respect her because her expectations are clear, fair, and unyielding. Her methods extend beyond mere event management. Sophie's influence seeps into every interaction, every conversation, every glance. She notices who is uneasy, who is overstepping boundaries, and who might need a subtle nudge back in line. She manages personalities with the precision of a surgeon, intervening only when necessary and leaving no trace of her authority behind. The result is a seamless, elegant world where society believes everything happens naturally, but in reality, Sophie is the hidden force keeping the delicate balance intact. Fans watching Bridgerton Season 4 can't help but admire her calm confidence. While others rely on charm, wealth, or scandal to navigate high society, Sophie relies on a sharp mind and disciplined execution. She is the quiet architect of order, the invisible hand guiding events, and the subtle power behind every success. Her brilliance lies in making the impossible look effortless, managing the chaos of Bridgerton's elite world while keeping a flawless facade. And the truth is, without Sophie's careful planning, the glittering world of Season 4 would quickly spiral into disorder. She is the unsung hero whose discipline transforms ordinary gatherings into unforgettable events. Sophie Baek's influence isn't just theoretical, it's proven in the moments that matter most. In Bridgerton Season 4, the spotlight often shines on scandals, romances, and dramatic confrontations, but Sophie quietly shapes how these moments unfold. She has a way of turning potential disasters into perfectly orchestrated triumphs, often without anyone realizing it. One evening at a grand ball, a heated argument threatens to erupt between two influential families. While others panic, Sophie steps in not with force, but with timing. A gentle word here, a subtle glance there, and the tension dissolves before it even touches the surface. It's as if she has already rehearsed the moment in her mind, predicting the reactions of everyone in the room. Another key moment shows Sophie handling a scandal that could have ruined a young debutante's reputation. Instead of confronting the gossipers head-on, she uses her foresight to redirect attention through perfectly placed words, discreet actions, and strategic seating arrangements. She ensures the situation pauses almost unnoticed. The brilliance lies not just in solving the problem, but in how invisible her intervention appears. By the time anyone notices the drama, it has already been neutralized, leaving Sophie's skill unrecognized yet undeniable. Sophie's influence also extends to the subtle dynamics of relationships. In scenes where jealousy, ambition, or romance threatens harmony, she anticipates the emotional currents that others cannot see. She adjusts interactions, guides conversations, and balances egos with precision. While other characters are consumed by their desires and fears, Sophie observes patterns, notices triggers, and acts with quiet authority. Even a casual movement, a hand offered, a nod, or a carefully timed pause becomes part of her strategic play, shaping outcomes without overtly interfering. Perhaps the most striking moments come when Sophie faces challenges beyond social maneuvering. When events spiral unpredictably, unexpected guests, last-minute changes, or unforeseen tensions, she adapts instantly. Her mind works like a chessboard, calculating consequences, rearranging plans, and ensuring that even chaos appears intentional. Every victory she achieves is subtle but absolute, and it solidifies her reputation as the woman who truly runs a tight ship. Fans watching closely begin to realize that Sophie is not just another character in the story. She is the force that keeps the glittering world of Bridgerton from unraveling, making Season 4's drama not just watchable, but masterfully orchestrated. Sophie Baek doesn't just run a tight ship, she changes the course of everyone around her. Her influence spreads like a quiet current, affecting friends, rivals, and even the most unpredictable members of high society. When she walks into a room, people unconsciously adjust to her presence. Conversations pause, gestures are measured, and even the boldest socialites hesitate before speaking. Sophie's power is subtle, almost invisible, yet undeniable. She doesn't need to dominate or command. She simply guides the flow, and the world around her falls into rhythm without realizing it. Take her interactions with other key characters. In Season 4, a character prone to impulsive drama finds themselves surprisingly calm after a brief exchange with Sophie. Another, known for manipulation, discovers that their schemes are anticipated and neutralized before they can gain traction. It's not that Sophie fights or confronts anyone directly. Her intelligence and foresight are enough to shift outcomes in her favor. Her presence alone forces others to rethink their strategies, to reconsider their words, and to navigate around her careful orchestration. In a world where appearances matter more than reality, Sophie is the silent architect of outcomes, proving that influence doesn't always come from who talks the loudest. What makes Sophie especially fascinating to fans is the combination of elegance and power. She commands respect without demanding it. She resolves tension without drama. She wins without a public battle. Her impact extends beyond practical control. It inspires admiration and subtle fear. Characters recognize her authority even if they don't fully understand it. Fans admire her because she embodies intelligence, patience, and strategy all at once. She shows that power isn't about spectacle or flamboyance. It's about quiet precision, foresight, and the ability to influence outcomes without anyone realizing how or why. In Bridgerton Season 4, Sophie Baek proves that the real movers and shakers aren't always the ones at the center of attention. They're the ones who ensure the entire stage stays perfectly balanced, quietly steering the story in their direction. **. A world overflowing with gossip, romance, and social games, Sophie Baek stands apart not because she seeks the spotlight, but because she quietly controls the stage. She is the calm at the center of Bridgerton Season 4's storm, the strategist whose every move ensures that chaos never fully takes over. Her power is subtle, almost invisible. Yet its effects ripple through every ballroom, every whispered conversation, and every tense moment of high society. Sophie doesn't need applause or recognition. She thrives in the spaces where others falter, turning potential disasters into seamless victories with grace and precision. What makes her unforgettable is that her mastery isn't flashy. It's intellectual, emotional, and strategic all at once. While other characters are distracted by jealousy, ambition, or desire, Sophie sees the bigger picture. She anticipates every ripple in social dynamics, plans for outcomes no one else can predict, and navigates complex relationships with quiet authority. Her influence transforms ordinary events into perfectly orchestrated moments, leaving everyone around her one step behind, even if they never realize why. It's this invisible hand, this delicate yet decisive control, that makes her not just a character, but the backbone of the season's social drama. Fans admire Sophie because she proves that power doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it is in the perfect timing of a gesture, the subtle adjustment of a seating chart, or the calm intervention before a scandal erupts. She embodies a mastery of subtlety, patience, and foresight that is rare in any story. Every challenge she faces, every situation she navigates, only reinforces the truth. Sophie Baek is not merely part of Bridgerton Season 4, she quietly shapes it, making her one of the most fascinating figures in the series. As the season unfolds, it becomes clear that Sophie's strength lies not in wealth, romance, or public acclaim, but in her ability to run a tight ship with unmatched skill. She is the silent strategist, the calm force, and the mind behind the elegance of Bridgerton's world. And as fans watch, they can't help but wonder, in a world built on appearances, who really holds the power? The answer is simple: Sophie Baek, the woman whose quiet control ensures that every story, every scandal, and every moment of Season 4 unfolds exactly as it should. Sophie Baek isn't just a character you watch, she's a presence you feel. In a season filled with glittering gowns, scandalous romances, and explosive drama, she captivates audiences not through spectacle, but through mastery and quiet brilliance. Every action she takes, every glance she casts, and every decision she Megs leaves a ripple that shapes the story in ways others can barely perceive. Fans admire her because she proves that strength doesn't always roar, it whispers, it calculates. And it guides without anyone realizing the hand behind the motion. What makes Sophie unforgettable is her balance of elegance and authority. She is impeccably poised, yet fiercely intelligent. She manages social chaos with a precision that feels almost supernatural, turning potential disasters into moments of seamless perfection. Unlike other characters who rely on emotion or drama to get ahead, Sophie relies on foresight, strategy, and subtle influence. It's this combination that makes her feel real, relatable, and aspirational at the same time. Audiences recognize in her the power of calm intelligence in a world where everyone else is chasing attention or reacting to circumstances. Sophie's influence also sparks curiosity. Viewers can't help but watch closely, noticing the small interventions that make a big difference, a timely word that averts conflict, a gesture that steadies a nervous debutante, or the silent way she ensures events unfold flawlessly. She is the glue holding season 4 together, the unseen force ensuring that the chaos of Bridgerton society never tips into disaster. Her presence reminds fans that true mastery is often invisible, intentional, and quietly commanding. Ultimately, Sophie Baek resonates because she represents a form of empowerment that is both subtle and absolute. She teaches that control doesn't require volume, that influence doesn't need recognition, and that skill paired with grace can shape the world around you without ever making a scene. Fans leave each episode thinking about her, reflecting on how someone so understated can wield such undeniable power. In Bridgerton Season 4, Sophie Baek is not just a character, they are a masterclass in quiet authority, intelligence, and poise, leaving an impact that lingers long after the final curtain. Sophie Baek leaves a mark not by stealing the spotlight, but by controlling everything around it. In Bridgerton Season 4, she proves that true power isn't loud, it's deliberate, intelligent, and precise. Every event, every conversation, every delicate social maneuver bends to her influence. Often without anyone realizing, she is the quiet force holding the glittering world of high society together, the strategist whose foresight prevents chaos before it even begins. Watching Sophie in action is like seeing the calm eye of a storm, a place where everything aligns perfectly while the world around her swirls in drama and uncertainty. Her legacy isn't just about organization or control, it's about respect and admiration. Fans see her as a figure of intelligence, poise, and subtle dominance. She reminds us that influence doesn't need to be flashy, and that strength often comes from observation, patience, and flawless execution. Sophie Baek proves that the quietest hands can steer the loudest storms, and that mastery is often invisible until it's too late to ignore. As the season closes, one thing becomes clear. While scandals, romances, and conflicts may capture the headlines, it's Sophie who shapes the real story. She is the hidden architect of Season 4's elegance, drama, and tension. Every perfectly timed intervention, every strategic decision, every calm moment in the chaos is a testament to her brilliance. She isn't just part of Bridgerton's world, she defines it. So the next time you watch a scene unfold flawlessly, a scandal averted, or a tense moment dissolve into perfection, remember who's really behind it. Sophie Baek, the woman who runs a tight ship. And now we want to hear from you. What do you admire most about Sophie's intelligence and control? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because in a world full of drama, Sophie Baek reminds us that power doesn't always need to shout, it simply works.